Well, hello everybody. Today we're in Sego Canyon, which is in central eastern Utah, about 5 miles north of the town of Thompson Springs along I-70. And Sego Canyon has been inhabited by human beings for quite a long time, some 4,000 years or perhaps even longer. And the petroglyphs that you see in front of you, and this is representative of the earliest petroglyphs dating back to the Barrier Canyon era, and these can go back as much as 8,000 years, but we're thinking that these petroglyphs were probably carved somewhere around 4,000 years ago. Again, this is of the Barrier Canyon style, represented by these figures with kind of long figures with bug-like eyes and antennae. You see the antenna there and bug-like eyes, and unfortunately the markings of bullet holes. The figure to the left is believed to be a more recent vintage, possibly even white man. This is another panel near that first one. Has a bit more of a mix of characters in it, but is believed still be of the Barrier Canyon style. This is the canyon itself. And the rock face in front of you and towards the right has a good many petroglyphs, and here we're heading towards it now. We'll come back to this panel in a little bit, but first we're going to check out the panel right of that, which is still Barrier Canyon style. Again, we'll come back to the one in front of us in a little bit. All right, so we're moving over to the other panel. And again, this is Barrier Canyon style, the oldest style, going back upwards of 4,000 years and possibly even longer. That period ended about 100 BC, or something over 2,000 years ago. Again, you can see the kind of large bug-eye type figures with antenna, again, typical of that style. Get a closer look here in a second. Brighten it up a little bit. There we go. Also, characteristic is the appearance of snake-like objects in their hands. And the occasional, like, angel wings. Some still pictures of it. All right, moving over to the panel left of that, on the other rock face, and this is representative of a earlier or later Indian inhabitation, the Fremont Indians. They date back to 600 AD until about 1250 AD, and that's typified by these kind of geometric shapes, trapezoidal in nature. If you look above the geometric figures, you see a line of faint red figures that are of a different type. These last panels represent the latest Indian inhabitation of the Ute Indians, dating back to about 1300 AD until about 1880 AD. And it's typified by the inclusion of horses and figures like that, as well as a circular thing that we believe is a shield. A bit further up the canyon, a mile or two further up the canyon, is remnants of the latest inhabitation of the canyon, white man, after they forced the Indians onto reservation. And around about 1880, the coal deposits were discovered in the area, and mining operations commenced shortly thereafter. The railroad in Thompson Springs, of course, this is going back to the steam era, so the availability of high quality coal was much in demand. So they built ultimately this 5 mile railroad spur line, which you can see a remnant bridge over the streams here, and they had to build 13 such bridges in the 5 miles. That was the old sort of general store, and behind that, collapsed, was the boarding house. And there were a number of other outbuildings and such that were part of the mining operations. Mining operations continued with ups and downs, and eventually they named the town Sego. It had various names before that, but ultimately the name of the town was changed to Sego during the coal mining era. But that pretty much all came to an end when the railroad switched to diesel in the 1940s. Actually, a pretty well-built structure. I'll include notes in the note section of the video, so just look below with information about both the petroglyphs and the Indian inhabitation, the 3 eras of Indian inhabitation, as well as the white man era with mining operations. So you can check in the note section for more details on that. Now again, this is the boarding house, which actually was still standing until about 2009, I think it was. So that collapse is fairly recent. And another one of the bridges for the spur line. So coal mining here was something of a novelty, as most of the mining operations in this region in the West during that era was gold and silver. Okay, we're getting close to the end here, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. And again, you can check the notes for more information. And thanks for watching.